anything about something. Ah, okay. Yeah, cool. Moving on to the next video. To not know something about, something, and then to know something about it in a split second, in an instant's time, and then have to be centered and aligned and completely surrendered to it and trusting of it is like, what in the is that? It's like, okay. I remember this one ceremony that I had at my friend's house, and consciousness removed was here in a certain manner and started to penetrate inside of my actual headspace. So somehow I'm able to tell what's this layer, just right here, and I could tell that the image here came deeper in than what normal images do. And I was like, wait a minute, scary, what am I going to do? And the key to this ceremony to make it all the way through were certain thoughts that would come in, such as trust. I said the word trust, and that opened amazing spectrums of light in these really tiny shapes. Kind of like the Alice Gray tapestry that you see behind me, the language of God. Kind of like that, but much more in detail and not quite as neatly arranged. But, I don't mean like not quite as neatly arranged, because it was amazingly neatly arranged, but not very as kaleidoscopic, but also very kaleidoscopic. It's kind of tough to say. I could draw it. That would be easier. I remember it pretty thoroughly. It was amazing. As it came in a square point, and then more, 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 and then more. All very blocky, very beautiful, tiny little beings. Every one of the little pieces is a tiny little being that has consciousness and can see and can hear and can feel and is completely dedicated to the unity and surrender to all things. And it's an amazing, phenomenal thing to understand their unity, that they may only be seen that one time in their entirety of existence, and they're completely satisfied with this. They were completely happy with this. We are not separate in a really amazing way, and it's phenomenal to see this, to experience this, and to be able to relay this to everybody. And it makes me feel strange sometimes. I'm like, oh my goodness, am I doing all that I can? Am I doing as good as those tiny little beings? When I said trust, the beings that were these amazing little shapes twisted themselves and opened up a space to bring in this really, really, really bright white light. Really gorgeous, amazing white light. Here, and I think here as well. And every time one of these words came in, trust, surrender, whatever it was, love, forgive, all of these beautiful, gratitude, all of these things are frequencies, are words that align with true frequencies that are keys, because they're a frequency, they're a feeling, they're a vibration, they're an energy, they're a shape within all of reality. They have a shape, a wavelength, a shape, a form in some manner. And so when these words are felt and heard, bing, opens a door. It's like, what? Amazing. And so that was a really incredible one, because I remember as it came into me, it was like something was literally like operating on my brain, It was like, oh crap, this thing's coming inside of me, and that's kind of a weird thing to have happen, If you are not used to things penetrating your consciousness, penetrating your skull, this can be a very scary thing to just occur out of nowhere in the moment. And when it does, that's phenomenal. It's really amazing. And so honor it completely, if you can. Sometimes you might be afraid, but I was lucky that I had already had experiences where I had become afraid, and I knew at this point to trust these things, that nothing was against me. Later, I would have beings trying to harm me, and then I would become very afraid of ceremony. I'd be like, what should I do? But these things were not the ceremony things. These things were not DMT. These things were not LSD. They were people. Beings that were having ceremony with me, that became jealous of me or hateful towards me in some kind of a way, that wished to teach me something. I don't know. They don't like me. They think I'm arrogant, whatever it is. And they wish to prove something to me, to show something to me, to do harm to me. And so that was an amazing thing to see, and that scared me completely. And so I've had a couple of these situations, and then I had another situation where, a couple situations where I myself left the present moment. I thought about something over here, so I fell off balance that way. Because, I tried to come back and recenter on that little tiny point I was balancing on. But, when you're balancing on a really tiny point, it's tough to reach that point again. So I fell that direction. I'm like, Or another time, I thought a lot that way, and then I lost focus on where I was, and then I didn't know where I was anymore. I didn't know what to do from that point on. And so I tried to back out of what I was doing, and my consciousness went all over the place. That was for 3 days that time. The other time was just for an evening. All my wiring was all over the place. All of my gears, all my wiring was everywhere around me, and I just couldn't think. I just couldn't. It's very frightening. I was very scared. That fear stays with me now, here till today. Losing the present moment. I'm sorry for this. Please forgive me, I didn't know. I guess I was getting caught up in all kinds of different flows. I don't know. Maybe I wanted women. Maybe I wanted comfort. I was living on the street, sleeping on the concrete. I've always been a sucker for love. Wanting somebody to be there with me, hold me, massage me. For me to massage them. I don't have a lot of desire to do it, though. I kind of want to just be held. I give it a lot, Will somebody just come give to me without wanting anything from me? I've done it. I do it constantly. But now I'm like, I don't have the energy. Whew. Maybe that's how everybody feels. Oh, we're in a conundrum then. That's alright. With the right being, perhaps I would be motivated. I don't even rub me. I used to. I was activating my energy through massaging myself, opening myself. Who knew if anybody else needed to touch me, really? They didn't know how my energy flowed. I understood how every one of my joints spinned, all of my energy channels moved. I understand every little bit of myself in that kind of way. So if somebody else were to touch me, I would be like, I don't think you know how to move my energy in the way that it moves perfectly, You're not spinning it right, you're not doing the things correctly. I don't think you actually understand what's going on with the body and its energy. I think you're thinking of things very scientifically, and they're far behind what's actually occurring. And so I think all you're going to do is spin me in a weird way, and I really care about my energy, I want to learn, I want to grow. Nobody's come to be my teacher still. Maybe I'm too arrogant, I don't know. Maybe I'm not a good student, I don't know. I mean, I learn from every moment, every day, in every way, every action, every emotion, every breath I take, I learn. Every person, all of their expression, I see their good qualities, their bad qualities, whatever you could perceive to be either. I see the obscuration in their path, I learn from that. I see the good things in their path, I learn from that. I see and admire certain things in them, and then I tell them about it and exemplify it so that they know what's going great about it. I see anything to give them advice, I give them advice. I hope that if they were to be able to see anything in me and give me advice, that they could do that. And when I see something good in them that's not good in me, then I know where it is that I can improve. When I see something that's bad in them, it's not bad in me, I know where they can improve. I understand all these different things. Or even if there's something bad in them that's something that I'm doing as well, I can see it in them, and I can navigate myself more fluidly in a certain way, whatever it is. Not to give distinction between bad or good, right or wrong, but I can just see where things are optimal and things are more efficient for what it is I intend to do, relieve all suffering for all beings everywhere without one exception, stop the cause of all suffering, ego clinging, ego attachment, grasping. So I'm doing my very best to help everybody in this kind of a way to bring us all to the present moment and truly where it is that we are limitless being has capability to be limitless and fully, entirely, forever and always. It's just like, jeez, man, what are we going to do here? But yeah, I don't have a direct teacher. The only teacher I've had is the moment, is consciousness entirely, is these medicine teachers, the psychedelics, if you would say. And I've practiced them too, I have. I haven't allowed them to just fall away from me. I've gone into practice. It's been a while since I've been in the flow of my energy practice. I mean, in the flow of energy practice to the degree in which I was doing it before, which was like 8 to 12 hours a day. Who knows for sure which way. I mean, all day, every day, if I was awake, I was in practice. I mean, Even now, I would say that that's the case. I don't think that I can actually fall out of practice. I think it's impossible, but just not to the same degree when I've been working my body. And my body flow is what's really powerful of me. I mean, my voice is pretty amazing, and I've been opening my voice. I feel like this year is like the year of my throat. Uh, Obviously, I can speak greater than I've ever been able to speak before. Maybe not obvious to you, but to me. But yes, you have the Milwaukee, so to have the Milwaukee, have the Milwaukee, so PC, yes, have the Milwaukee, we have the Milwaukee, we have the Milwaukee, I have the Milwaukee, yes, have the Milwaukee, to what I am, so back off the Milwaukee, to what. Here, the Milwaukee, so it's easy to have the Milwaukee, I don't have the Milwaukee, peace, we have the Milwaukee, we have the Milwaukee, to what I have the Milwaukee, so here, so back. And it's pretty cool, you know. The flower moon brought this to me, this language. And psilocybin ceremony of the heroic nature. Goodness, I don't know. What's it like, 6 or 7 grams originally, and then like 4.5 grams the next time or something? I don't know. It was a lot. It was a lot. It's been a while since I've really indulged in powerful LSD ceremony. And I call it ceremony always for us to remember reverence. Reverence for the medicine teachers. I say LSD is a master teacher, an amazing medicine teacher. This is a frequency of divine quality. Same thing with psilocybin and any one of the other medicine teachers that have the ability, when we take them in ways that are truly reverent of them, personally, all of them, DMT, ayahuasca, whatever it is, that we see them for what they are, the gift that they are giving us. Plant beings, mold beings, whatever beings they are, into all of life entirely, and for the benefit of all beings entirely, that with what we learn, that we can share with others and help them grow as well. Now, this is a huge intention that brings a great amount of understanding very quickly to one's path. To not be so selfish. And you know what, maybe we do find ourselves selfish, and maybe there's a way to set intention that even our selfishness will be overridden so that our intention becomes true of us, and not for just a selfish purpose. I constantly do this, not knowing, to make sure, it's like, hey, am I doing this to save me, or am I doing this actually for other beings? And can I please be made to do this? Correct me, force me, whatever you can do to help me do this, please. Please, all I wish to do is be of benefit. And yes, we are all always of benefit in every way, as it turns out. We couldn't help but be. But man, it's so intentionally and consciously doing my best to see this always. There's so many teachings and so many amazing things to bring. That Lama said that I have to hold my lineage. I'm like, whoa, my lineage? I guess it makes sense. Nobody else knows the things I know. I'm the only one that knows the things that I know. People talk about things that I know, which is interesting. Makes me really confident in the things that I've come to learn. Because I'm like, man, I thought I discovered these things. I didn't read about them first, I just experienced them. I'm like, wow, you guys somehow know about these things. And I came from a place of hate. You gotta understand, love was not something around me ever. I really discovered it. Like, nobody told me. I was even telling somebody about it, and they're like, I've known these things for many years. I'm like, what? Why didn't you tell me? I guess they just thought it was common knowledge or something, not worth to talk about. They would rather drink and smoke and party and go to work and whatever that is, and why share anything with anybody? They don't want to hear it anyway. I haven't been so respectful. I haven't had so many friends, When I come up to talk to somebody, I want to talk about some real shit. I don't want to be talking about bullshit. I can go talk about bullshit by myself. You kidding me? I like to hang out with myself. If I come over to you, I'm coming for guidance, for counsel, for some meeting of communion that's beneficial for us. I'm not coming over to you to talk about mundane, ridiculous things. I don't care about mundane, ridiculous things, and never have and never will. I don't care. We can joke and have fun, and yes, it's fun and all this, but eventually I'm going to judge it. Like, alright, well, kind of pointless, it's not really going anywhere. And now we're kind of just spreading negativity. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm good at it. I can do it all. I'm good at making fun and saying stupid shit and all that wonderful stuff. But I admire intelligence and I admire conscious action. I admire devotion to something greater, you know. I was looking at the muscle on my arm. It's so small, it's so little. Goodness. My arms are so tiny. Ugh. See, I'm weak right now. Makes me feel strange. Can't even stop looking at it. I'm like, oh goodness. How did you get so small, Ryan? Good God. Well, that's alright. We're gonna become large again. Who cares? Women care. Doesn't matter. I don't care about those women. If there be a person that matches my energy, then terrific. If there be a person judging everything about me and can't tell that I am that person, that spirit, then whatever, you know. Oh, yeah. You look at the motion of that person, and you think that motion is the motion you're looking for. That's what I check out when I see people. I look at their body flow. I'm like, let's see. Oh, you can't move the energy? Okay, never mind you. Oh, you don't know how to move yourself. You're all rigid. Okay, never mind you. I'm your teacher then. I'll just help you. I mean, that's how I see it for real. I'm like, okay, obviously I had higher realization, so let me just help you reach realization then, and then maybe we can be on the same level, and then we can talk more deeply. You could be teaching me, you know, and then I'll be all really super interested in you in some kind of a way. Oh, you're not interested in me? Well, I'm like the greatest being ever, so whatever, I don't mind. You know, maybe not to you, that's fine. We're all the greatest being ever, don't get me wrong, we're all equal, but, you know, what's not great about me is what I'm saying. Oh, you gotta love yourself this much. Is it arrogant? Is it confident? Who knows? But I am a warrior, and I am strong. I am an amazing, phenomenal man. I am a god. A goddess. I am everything entirely, all of this. So, and I'm going, I mean, if you can't see the beauty in my heart, whatever. And if you can't stand up with my fire, then, woo! You know, I have very little fire in my sign, actually. I am a very earth, water, and air. So, where does all this fire come from anyway, huh? Some people say, oh, you have a lot of Leo in you, don't you? I was like, I don't know about that. Some people call me Virgo, some people call me Libra, some people call me all kinds of different things. I wonder what you would call me, it doesn't matter. I'm Taurus. You're silly. Oh, man. You're the snake. Anyways. Funny, man. It's just about saying everything entirely and not having a single thought welled up in your head, just like completely expressing everything in the moment. If I wouldn't have expressed those things, they would have bounced back and forth in here for a long time. They've been like, bing, 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 express me, express me, express me. It's like, oh shit. Or I could just be completely clear and have nothing there. It's pretty fun to have nothing there, I gotta say. And you can see that I can just talk forever and ever 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 and ever. So it's like, oh my goodness, what can I do if all I can do is talk forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever? I mean, is that what I'm supposed to do? Do I just talk forever and ever and ever and ever? I mean, who's going to listen? How much do I talk? How many of these videos do I make? I mean, I have a ton of videos. What do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to know? You know, this is a process. Who can stay with somebody talking like this for too long anyway? I mean, it's actually a teaching. The whole thing is actually a teaching. Can you even tell? Probably not. Why is it a teaching? What could it be showing? Could it just be showing the surrender to the moment, how anything is okay to be said? In little pieces here, there, and everywhere, there's little snippets of really amazing information. Do you want me to condense it into one video? I mean, I'm doing my best, to do this now in some way. So I'm just bringing in an authentic expression. The moment's the one guiding. I mean, I guess I could start directing it a little more. Anytime that I decide to start directing the flow, I gotta tell you, I'm like, all right, now it's my turn. I'm gonna direct this thing, and then boom, throws me right off base, and I lose all control. And I'm like, okay, let me go back to where I was. Where was I? Where was I following from? Where was I following from? Let me go back to following. Oh shit, that was scary. Why did I try to direct it? Why did I try to control, manipulate? What was I thinking? Yeah. That's pretty funny. It's fun, We can hang out. We can have a good time. I mean, this is kind of all I do when I talk to people anyway. If they're really willing to listen, a lot of the times I get them to where they are really willing to listen. They're like, well, he's told me that he doesn't give a shit about what I'm saying. He doesn't have any time for it. So he just wants to bring me into some kind of place of teaching, and I don't really know how to do that. Clearing the ground, making the soil fertile, I mean, jeez. All I want to do is come to you and talk to you, but you don't have any time for me. You're always so busy. I gotta go here, I gotta go there. I don't have any time to learn. I don't have any time to grow. Well, geez, who does? Who has time to learn? Who has time to grow? Who's going to be there? Who's going to do it? Are there any students out there? Are there any teachers? Anybody? Oh, all the teachers are going to charge money. Okay, well, I'm here to benefit all beings. You don't want to just give me some kind of information to free so that I can do that? Okay, fine. Well, then goodbye to you. Alright, that's fine. I'll just use the psychedelic teachers. They teach me easy for free. They just give it to me. I don't need you. I mean, it does cost money. I mean, don't get me wrong. The medicine costs money, but that's okay. Medicine costs money. It's alright. I wish it was free. I mean, really, I feel like that should be free too. It's like, well, this guy is going to use it for righteous stuff. He's not going to use it for fucking women or doing this or doing that or just playing party with his friends, having a good time, having a night that lasts an eternity. Well, I mean, but doesn't because he can't remember it. The completely useless occasion that had great purpose and is equal to all other motion and action entirely. But you know what I'm saying. For me, I see it so wasteful. I'm like, oh, jeez. Don't you want to expand into the limitlessness of your being? And why aren't these things just being given out for free for everybody? I mean, goodness gracious. Some people don't let you buy DMT because it's such an amazing medicine. Some people won't let you buy ayahuasca because it's such an amazing medicine. But man, does rarely anybody allow you to have ayahuasca. I had one man give me free ayahuasca. What an amazing man he was. I went and asked him, and he was like, I got you, bro. And I know that you have the ability to hold your own ceremony. I could tell. He said he could tell. That was the greatest medicine man I'd ever met. Anybody else I ever meet, they're like, I don't know about you, Mr. Harris, or whoever you are. You look like this and you look like that, and I'm going to judge this and I'm going to judge that. They just look right there at the surface of their mere judgment or whatever it is. They're unable to find that somebody could do it themselves. This man was utterly confident, completely himself, 100% in his ancient dragon personality, to where he was like, yeah, what are you talking about? Of course, you're the shit. Here, take it. What do you mean? You brew it yourself. We'll do this. I'll teach you how. Alright. Have a beautiful day. Come back. If you ever want any more, just come back. Come on back. We'll have ceremony. It'll be great. It'll be perfect. It'll be wonderful. And I never did go back. I really wish that I would have. Fears and all that. Perfection. Now who knows where he is. He just disappeared. Amazing man. Actually, I could hit up a friend and ask him where that man is. I could probably go find him. And that would be just delicious. But hey, who knows? Maybe my intuition was right. I always gotta watch out for powerful beings, Because there's a reason why they're doing the things that they're doing, and they're doing it differently than me. Is it selfishness? What is it? I don't know. But I'd always had the most trust for everybody. There's always a weird little secret intention in there, typically with some kind of like ego identity. But he instructed me to go to Tibetan Buddhism, which I had already gone to Tibetan Buddhism, so I see him as a very beautiful soul brother. So I doubt he would be this way, but who knows? I was afraid at the time. And it's perfect, because here we are now today, speaking in this way. But every other teacher, Gene, whoever, Lakai, all of these people all over the place, none of them can see past themselves. I can't believe it. But come on. Aren't you going to be able to see past yourself? Are you really the greatest ever? Oh, I'm young? Okay, whatever. You're going to be old like me. Alright, yeah, that's fine. I mean, what is it that you know? I don't know anything. Okay, well, yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. So that means you know everything? What is it? Jeez. You haven't had any experience? I asked one man that, well, what is your experience? All I know is I don't know. You don't have any experience. You haven't experienced a single thing in your life. I mean, you don't know what your experience was. I know that I've experienced this. I know that I've experienced this. I don't know. It's just interesting, the differences in clarity and the differences in ability to speak or articulate. I was endowed with an amazing freedom of speech. Amazing lack of fear to share. And I guess it always knew this of me. I was afraid to speak in front of people. I had a pastor tell me one time, I bet that your future is public speaking. And I was like, oh my God, no. No way, one-on-one, please, the only way. It's probably still different for me to do more than one-on-one. But I can do it, which is amazing. Because before I couldn't. And I want to again. But I just want to do it when I'm fully in myself. We're amazing. We can move way differently than you think a human body can move. I guess I've probably said this before, but I mean, you can literally move in every direction at the same time. Your body can shift and mold to shapes that aren't your body's shape. You can move through objects. That takes you no longer being solid, or moving your molecules and your atoms, your molecular structure, in a way that moves in between the other object structure in a manner that you never touch it and never have to break apart, and can move through it and stay one seeming object. Do you understand what that means? I mean, that's amazing. That you can blip in and out of this reality, that you can turn the page and end up somewhere else, that you can slip through and slip back in. The space you slip through is like moving through like 2D reality. You're like Mario. So, Super Mario? Not Super Mario World. Super Mario when he's... Or maybe it was Super Mario World. It might be Super Mario World. I have to think about that for a second. No. It's the Super Mario where at the end you jump up and you hit the little box and you can get like a star, a mushroom, the bear suit, the fire, the flame flower, you know. And so you can like get behind the objects and like you're in the background and you're like going through like that, you slip in the background, slip through the back, except for when you slip in like that, you're actually going in a completely different world and dimension that's vast, huge, and amazing. And then you can slip back in another one of those places and come back in, perceivably where you left or anywhere else in the reality, and by being given this ability, you would immediately come to the conscious awareness of how to completely control this scenario and work in, perceivably, hopefully. Perhaps you go into a place that's so much faster than this frequency that you can learn for hundreds of years and then come back in and only have been gone for seconds, minutes. You can hit light speeds here to where everything here has to stop. And so these speeds are so fast that this place isn't moving. at all. And so you're doing many things. And this place isn't moving. Nothing's occurring here. So you hear people that are gone for thousands of years or hundreds of years or a few years or whatever. It's because they're on such a different spectrum of understanding. They're coming back in just right at the same spot that they left, you know. It's like, oh, hey, what's going on? Yeah, no, I was gone for, a few eons. But now I'm back. I learned a lot of stuff. And, some people say that they've done this, but they don't really have much to share, which is interesting. I'm like, yeah, man, I mean, you went through all that, and you didn't even bring any wisdom back with you? I'm like, fuck. Doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm going to have to figure out why that is, and what the heck was going on with them, that where they weren't able to bring it back, or maybe they were able to bring it back, but for some reason they were like so frightened by the scenario that they decided to forget it, kind of like a dream you decide not to remember in the morning. You're like, oh, just so quickly into this day and world that you no longer remember the dream, or however that is. I don't know what it is. I'm thinking of one being in particular. I was very interested in her. God, what was she saying? And who was she? Yeah. Very interested in that. Huh. Yeah, I wanted to learn a lot more about that. I wonder if that's that girl that stabbed somebody. I don't think it was. I think this was somebody else. Because I feel like I had a more intellectual conversation with this person. This other person I'm talking about is very tough to have a conversation with. But anyways, moving along. Stabbed somebody. Whew. Yeah, it's a weird one to add to the conversation flow right here. But it's the perfection of the video. Don't be afraid of just being. It's the best stuff ever. Who knows who this is for anyway? Maybe this is for my daughter. Or somebody else in the future. They get to see their father speaking in really crazy ways. Or maybe I really will be able to do this thing that I'm afraid to do, that I keep talking to you about, having this ceremony in this really powerful way. It doesn't seem like I'm going to do it today. That I've been talking for nearly 2 hours, but who knows? I might get off of this and be so agitated by whatever's going on here in the moment that I end up going out and doing it at midnight, or the stroke of midnight, which seems like it's just a bad time to do it for me. I'm like, geez, yeah, I would have like 6 hours, 7 hours before daytime happens, but then I would have a ridiculous amount of daytime going on, and still an insane amount of time left in my ceremony, because I plan on taking a heroic dose. An epic dose of the LSD variety, which is extremely frightening to me. What if I lose myself? What if I have to stop and stay in one place forever for the rest of my life? I've almost done that before. That was cool. I had a friend of mine almost do that too. You sweetheart.